could be alkalotic. What is alkalosis? It means that hydrogen ions will go down here, bicarbonate ions will go up. Okay, this is metabolic alkalosis. Here is respiratory alkalosis. In this case, I'm blowing off too much of carbon dioxide. Like when we hyperventilate, we blow off too much carbon dioxide, and because of this, carbon dioxide levels will go down. Therefore, we said acidosis could be metabolic or could be respiratory. Metabolic if the problem is in the kidneys, or respiratory if the problem is in the lungs. Alkalosis can also be metabolic or respiratory. First of all, we need to know what is normal. Our normal pH is 7.35 to 7.45, average of 7.4. Partial carbon dioxide pressure in the blood is 40, and bicarbonate levels is between 18 to 24 milliequivalent per liter. Now, carbon dioxide is 40 millimeters of mercury. To be sure if someone is acidotic or alkalotic, the best thing is this approach. To note if someone is acidotic or alkalotic, first of all, I like us to always look at the pH first. Next, we look at the bicarbonate levels. Usually, these two are all you need to differentiate the two problems. If the pH is low, we know the person is acidotic. Our question now is this: is it metabolic or respiratory? So we'll look at his or her bicarbonate. If bicarbonate level is low, that means that the hydrogen ion levels went up. In that case, it is metabolic acidosis. But if the bicarbonate is normal, that means the problem is in the lungs. In that case, the acidosis would be respiratory. If the pH is high, the person is basic. Next, again, we'll look at the bicarbonate second. If the bicarbonate is high, which means hydrogen ions went down, they are low, the problem is metabolic. If bicarbonate did not change, then the problem must be respiratory. So in that case, we look at the PCO2, partial carbon dioxide pressure, that will be low. So let's look at acidosis then, see if we can get an algorithm to what we talked about. Acidosis, pH less than 7.35. If it is respiratory acidosis, carbon dioxide levels are going to go up above 40 millimeters of mercury. Next, we look at the bicarbonate. Here, bicarbonate. It is usually normal. When my carbon dioxide goes up, if it's normal, that means there is no compensation. The kidneys did not react to it yet. If my bicarbonate goes up, if it is high, it means my kidneys have started compensating by throwing out hydrogen ions or retaining bicarbonate ions. Metabolic acidosis, again, bicarbonate is going to be low. Remember that we already saw the pH being low, right? Bicarbonate will be low, below 18 milliequivalent per liter. Next, we look at the carbon dioxide. If carbon dioxide is normal, that means my lungs are not compensating yet. Remember, one system compensates for the other. But if my carbon dioxide level is low, that means the lungs are hyperventilating to try to remove more carbon dioxide. So here's what we're looking at. Acidosis, pH less than 7.35. Next, we look at bicarbonate. Bicarbonate goes down, it means it's metabolic. If bicarbonate did not change, I look at my carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide goes up, it is respiratory. If it is respiratory, I want to know, or we want to know, is there compensation by the kidneys or not? If bicarbonate is normal, no compensation. If bicarbonate went up, it means that there's compensation because my kidneys are trying to increase the base to balance the acid. That's going to be compensation. Now, in metabolic, I want to look again at my carbon dioxide. Metabolic, bicarbonate went down. Next, we see did the lungs compensate or not. If the carbon dioxide is normal, the lungs did not compensate yet. If carbon dioxide goes down, it means my lungs are throwing out carbon dioxide. So, alkalosis next. Same algorithm we're going to use. pH, blood pH greater than 7.45 means I'm alkalotic. So I want to know, is it respiratory or is it metabolic? Let's look at respiratory first. In respiratory alkalosis, carbon dioxide partial pressure is going to be low, lower than 40. Okay, in this case, carbon dioxide is going to be low. So if my carbon dioxide is low, I want to know, did my kidneys compensate or not? If bicarbonate is normal, the kidneys did not compensate yet. If bicarbonate is low, my kidneys have started compensating by throwing out bicarbonate and holding on to hydrogen ions. Next, metabolic alkalosis. Again, remember my pH is already high. So now I want to check this. Metabolic alkalosis, bicarbonate levels will be high, above 24. We want to check again, are my lungs compensating or not? So, if the PCO2, the partial pressure of carbon dioxide, is normal, right here, there's no compensation by the lungs yet. No pulmonary compensation. If the levels are high, if they are up, the lungs have started compensating by hypoventilating, trying to keep more acid to compensate for the base. Alkalosis, pH greater than 7.45. We want to know, is it respiratory or metabolic? If bicarbonate goes up, we know it's metabolic. If not, we check the PCO2 to be sure. If PCO2 went down, then we know it's respiratory. Again, if it's metabolic, we want to see, did the lungs compensate or not? Remember, one organ compensates for the other. If the lungs compensated, PCO2 will go up. If the lungs did not react yet, if they didn't compensate, PCO2 will stay normal. In the case of respiratory alkalosis, we want to see, did the kidneys compensate or not? If the kidneys compensated, bicarbonate will go down. If the kidneys did not react, bicarbonate stays normal. So let's look at some scenario then. Here's our first question. It says, Mr. Apple's blood has blood pH of 7.25, PCO2 is 40, which is normal, bicarbonate is 12. What does he have? Now, of course, as I told you, the first thing we do is look at the pH first. Next, bicarbonate. So, looking at his pH, pH seems low. So now we know he is acidic, right? Now, we need to think about this a little bit. I need to think about it. Take a minute, think about it before you go to the next slide. This is acidic. Next, we want to look at the bicarbonate. Here it is. Is it normal or is it low? Here, bicarbonate is low. It's below 18. It means the problem is in the kidneys. This tells me he has metabolic acidosis. Let me see. What did you get? pH acidic, bicarbonate low. He has metabolic acidosis. Carbon dioxide is normal, which means the lungs did not react yet. That means he has metabolic acidosis without respiratory compensation. Let's try one more problem. Baby Munchin's blood shows a pH of 7.5 here. Bicarbonate is 20. PCO2 is 35. What is the problem? Now, if the pH is 7.5, that means it's what? Acidic or basic? Of course it is basic. And I know that's what you got. He is basic. Now, next thing is this. Baby's alkalosis. Is it metabolic or is it respiratory? So I'm going to look at the bicarbonate next. Bicarbonate says 20. Well, that is within normal, isn't it? 18 to 24. So it's within normal. So of course, I do understand that his alkalosis is not metabolic. What do I have left? I hope you got the same as I did. pH 7.5 is basic, means he has alkalosis. Bicarbonate is normal, means the problem is in the lungs, it's respiratory. So it means he has respiratory alkalosis because the BCO2 is low. Now, again, bicarbonate did not change, which means my kidneys are not compensating yet. Therefore, he has respiratory alkalosis without compensation. Okay, this is the end of our lecture series for today, and I hope you understand what we talked about. You can go back through this video a few times again and again to be able to get everything together. Thank you.